Hello, everybody. It's John Corelli, your average guy with his average guy opinion. Um, I just found out that Nicolas Sarkozy has been convicted of basically bribery, impropriety. Former president of France, for those of you who don't know who he was, pretty conservative guy. Um, Not quite as nationalistic as Trump, maybe, although a very nationalistic guy, which is kind of ironic because you look at his name, you go, that's not the most French looking name in the world. He was actually his father was Hungarian, and that's why he had the Hungarian name. His mother was French. I believe he was born in France. I'm not going to do it. I didn't do a ton of background on Sarkozy, and I'm not actually. This is more just about going to be about France and how Americans seem to hate France. But I did want to also touch upon his how did he get here, and then why did it take almost 10 years to get him to trial? Like I said, he is convicted of I believe it was some it was either impropriety, some sort of basically fraud. Really, he attempted to bribe a judge. I didn't see when that happened, but he did. And he will serve a 3 year sentence for it. Two of the years are already have oh god, I'm sorry, I can't remember any legal terms right now, but the suspended sentence for the first 2 years, and the last year will probably be served under house arrest. He won't see the inside of a prison. Rich people never do. So or sometimes they do, but very rarely. It takes it takes a gaffe or a how do I want to put it, a crime of Bernie Madoffian proportions to get you to real prison if you're rich. Let's be honest about that. It's part of the reason BLM matters, but I'm not going to go into that today. I'm not going to go into the justice system and how it's not only slanted towards white people, it's obviously slanted toward rich people. O.J. Simpson proved that. O.J. Simpson didn't win because he was a popular guy, and he certainly didn't win because he was a black man. He won because he could afford. Do you remember what they called it? A dream team of lawyers. Kardashian, Johnny Cochran. I think there were maybe two others. There are at least three or four guys that Simpson hired to defend him, and it worked because they absolutely shredded the opposition, who were, you know, good educated people, but they I believe they only had two lawyers for the prosecution, and they're both like district attorney people. I mean, they're good, but they don't have the resources like these guys do to just find every little thing and grill Mark Furman. And anyway, like I said, I was trying not to get too much into the justice system, but like I said, back to Sarkozy, how he will never see the inside of a prison, although he tried to ironically bribe a judge. I don't know the insides of that. I didn't really look into it very far. Like I said, this is more about where I want to go with this is talk about France and why do we hate them so much? I don't understand. Oh, I also do think Trump should go to prison or at least be tried for many of the things he has done, including the insurrection. I don't know if that, once the impeachment happened, I don't know if that can go to trial anywhere else, but I think it should. He definitely incited a riot and incited a traitorous insurrection. But once again, I digress. A little too much coffee today, a lot of digressions. My brain's all over the place. I apologize. So, why do we hate France? I don't know. I think I've been there. I think I've been there. I've been there. I've been to Marseille, which is a very ethnic part of France. It's right on the Mediterranean Ocean. It's very heavily, you know, it's got a lot of immigrants, and I loved it there. I thought it was great. A lot of people are like, it's a little too gritty for me, which I understand. Gritty meaning too many people of color, probably, but it's beautiful. It's a big fishing town. The buildings are painted all kinds of beautiful colors at least on the docks we went to. There were kids, I mean, like Middle Eastern kids, jumping off the cliffs into the Mediterranean, like 100-foot cliffs. We're just watching them going, oh my God. And it's just a beautiful, cool city. Had bouillabaisse there, only place I've ever had it, only time I've ever had it. It was delicious. Really like Marseille a lot. Haven't been to Paris, would like to go to Paris. And I did, and when I travel, I do try to talk to the locals as much as I can, especially in Europe, because well, that's the beautiful thing about being an American. I will tell you this: if you're not an asshole, they want to know what you're about. They really do. The people across this planet really want to know what we're about. It's like, wow, you live in a crazy country. What's it like? What are you like? And you have wonderful conversations with amazing people on all corners of this planet. And when I say corners of this planet, I mean that metaphorically. I'm not a flat earther. It's a round ball. There are no corners technically. Stupid joke. So, um, yeah, I haven't been to Paris, but when I was in Marseille and talked to French people that are I don't know what you call somebody from Marseille, a Marseillan, I don't know, but they say we also hate the Parisians. They say everyone hates the Parisians because the Parisians are almost like the New Yorkers of of France because they do have a high regard for themselves. And hey, you know what? Maybe I don't blame them because maybe I'm biased because I was born in New York and I understand that that is the best city in the planet, in my opinion. Of course, that's biased too. But I'm sure Parisians think that I live in the best city in the world. How lucky am I, and how awesome am I just for living here? Um, and a little brief history about our interactions with France, though. I don't understand why the hatred. I mean, we don't hate Germany as much as we hate France. Germany's done way worse than France ever has. Why don't we hate Japan on the level we hate France? I don't understand. Is it only because they come off as better than us? I don't get it. The French, just some brief things about France helped us win the Revolutionary War. Part of the reason the United States of America exists is because France helped us beat the British. Now, it may not obviously have been an altruistic move by France. They were probably looking to just get the British out of the way and try to colonize us because if you remember, about 30 years after, not even, like 25 years after the Revolutionary War, 20 years in 1803, I believe the Louisiana Purchase was done under Jefferson. That was like 1803, I'm pretty sure. I may have the year wrong, but I know it's like 20 some years after after we gained independence. And if you ever look at the Louisiana Purchase, it is massive. It's like a quarter of the country, maybe a third. It's almost the entire Midwest, like from the Mississippi River west all the way almost to the Rocky Start. Look at a map sometime of the Louisiana Purchase. It is massive. So France owned that. And I'm sure they were looking to, once they helped us, I'm sure they were looking to, you know what, we're just going to take our land and we're going to just shove our way east and push these Americans into the ocean. I may be wrong about that, but you gotta, colonizing countries, you gotta question their motives. I'm sure they weren't just trying to help us beat Britain because they hated the British that much. They do. But yeah, okay, so back to, so I've never understood this hatred for the French. The French gave us the Statue of Liberty in 1886 as a birthday gift, as a 100-year anniversary gift for our independence. I, I've liked every French person I've met. I've met not too many from Paris, but I've met quite a few. I have a cousin. She's technically a step cousin. She lives there. She's dated several French men. I've met a couple of them. No issues with them. I don't get it. They like Jerry Lewis. Maybe that's it. I mean, that whole thing. Remember after 9/11, or right after 9/11, when we decided to go to war. Really smart move, by the way. Let's go to war against who? Afghanistan? They didn't attack us. 19 guys, all from different countries, or many from different countries, attacked us. Anyway, so when we went to Afghanistan and a bunch of other countries on the planet were like, we're not doing that, especially France. And we had, we're not going to call them freedom fries, we're going to call them or French fries, we're going to call them freedom fries. And people were pouring like champagne down the toilet. How fucking dumb. You still bought the champagne. That money's still going back to France. And they don't give a shit. They'd probably rather have them called freedom fries. They're probably like, ugh, you disgusting, greasy fried potatoes, you call them French. What is wrong with you? I don't know if that's a good French accent, but I tried. Yeah, why weren't we shoving kielbases, or kielbases are Polish, whatever, German sausages, or whatever they drink, Warsteiner and Lowenbrau, why weren't we pouring that down the toilet? Because Germany didn't go to the war either. Anyway, so that's a little rant about France. I know this is a little all over the place. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my last video. I was really happy with the death video. So if you don't like this one, maybe try episode 61. This has been episode 62. See you guys on the other side. Death reference. Also across the pond reference. That could be a France reference. Other side of the ocean. Anyway, getting goofy. See you guys. Thank you for listening. Talk to you next time on Average Guy Opinions. Too much coffee. Bye.